Complete the square. Nah, kind of like that kind of, but pretty close. Pretty close. What we're going to do is this. We're going to do with the first step that we deal with completing the square. And the first things we're going to have are these problems with an x squared, like plus a number x equals 0. No other terms, just that, because what we're going to do every time is this is where we kind of need to start. Is we're going to look at the value in front of the x. And what we'll do every time is we'll take this number right here that's in front of the x, we'll divide it by 2, which is 3, and then we will square it. All right? Every single time, because what we're doing is we're completing the square. But if I add 9 here, I have to add 9 to the other side. And the reason for that is because I'm looking for a value that when I square it will make this up here. That's if I take x plus 3 times x plus 3, it would be x squared plus 6x plus 9. Completing the square is getting this to look like this. But in order to do it, I had to add 9 to each side. That's why the term kind of changed. So once again, to do this here, to get this complete square, for a little bit so I can have a binomial term, I'm going to take this 14 and divide it by 2. And 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 7 squared is 49, which I'll add to both sides to get this. And the reason that we always do this, because whenever you FOIL this, your first term times your first term is the same, and the last term times last term is squared. But the middle term is made up by taking these two multiplied together, doubled. So if these two are multiplied together and doubled, if I undouble it, that would be cutting it in half, and then I square it so I know what I need to add, but then that will help me know what's going to go my binomial term here. Okay. Here we have another one. So I'm going to take this negative 20. I'm going to divide it by that 2. This time I get a negative 10. Doesn't matter, it's negative. Square negative 10. Now be careful, when you square a negative, it's negative 10 times negative 10, which is 100, not negative 100. So if I add 100 to each side, but here's what's really cool. Inside my parentheses will be this x minus 10. Whatever I get here when I cut this in half is the value that goes in the parentheses every time. So I'm just going to cut that in half. That's my number here, but I have to also then square it to know what number I need to add, because we're adding that to the problem to make it work. But we've got it to one side, we've got to add it to both.